Hey YouTube, Kira Tweak here, bringing you all an update to my For Hire Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for post-Phantom Rage. With the release of the new Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG booster set, we were given a new spell card for the For Hires, so I felt an update was definitely due for the deck. It's a really awesome deck. For those of you who don't know, this deck was definitely quite a powerhouse in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links game, but still a very fun deck to play in the actual TCG as well, special summoning out a bunch of different For Hire monsters onto the field, then being able to use them for the Link summon into the For Hire Link monster, or just use the different effects that these cards have based on having them on the field and special summoning out other For Hire monsters onto the field as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the For Hire monsters, for the playsets of cards we run in the deck, I want to run 3 Beat Bladesman For Hire. Definitely one of the best For Hire monsters we have in the deck. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 monster For Hire from your hand, except for Beat Bladesman For Hire. If a monster For Hire is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can add 1 For Hire from your deck to your hand, except for Beat Bladesman For Hire. You can only use each effect of Beat Bladesman For Hire once per turn. So this is your setup card. All the lower level For Hire monsters are meant to special summon out the higher level For Hire monsters and then use those effects against your opponent as the more offensive play, while the smaller monsters still have a true pack-a-punch play style. They just have search power, destruction, you name it. So you definitely want 3 Beat, because being able to search out for additional For Hire monsters you can summon onto the field definitely does help, just to always have resources to use. I also run 3 of the Philo Messenger For Hire. With this one during your main phase, having the special summon option just like the For Hire from your hand, except for Philo Messenger For Hire. If a monster For Hire is special summoned while this card's on the field, except during the damage step, you can target 1 For Hire monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, but place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. And having the once per turn effect just like Beat, sharing the special summon with all the lower level monsters, but having the option to use for your graveyard, while Beat Bladesman For Hire searches out the monster. It doesn't need to special summon it, because then you can just additionally summon it out with any of the other For Hire monsters you have on the field. Having the graveyard set up with Philo is a big help for sure, because then you can rely on those resources from the graveyard after you go for your Link summon and be able to use them with Philo also. I also run the 3 Recon Scout For Hire. This one helps to take care of set cards on the field with the special summon option just like Philo and Beat. And when another For Hire is summoned while you control this monster, you can target 1 set card on the field and destroy it. You can only use each effect, each one limiting it, so you have to have different numbers of For Hires on the field. But being able to rely on Scout For Hire means that you can take out your opponent's back row and have no fear when you want to go into your bigger For Hire plays, like Fogel Justice For Hire, the Link 3 monster. And I also run 3 Dompa Marksman For Hire, with this one being the exact opposite of Recon Scout For Hire, having the special summon option, but also with this one, you can target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy it. And it's not limited to monsters with the face-up card. You can also destroy, continuous spells, continuous traps, field spells, you name it. You just have a lot more options with Dompa on the field, and the more lower level monsters you have for the setup, you can special summon from Dompa, go into Recon, and then summon out Beat Bladesman For Hire, or go in the reverse order, because always wanting to have the search power of Beat, and then having more monsters to summon out. It makes it very vital to have these lower monsters, but then you can use the lower monsters to go into your Link summon plays, and then go from there on with all the different summons you'll want to do. For some of the higher level ones, those are for a good part of the special summon option. A few other ones for the lower numbers that we are running. I also run the 2 Bravo Fighter For Hire. Not as needed for the setup. The other ones all add to either destruction or search power. With Bravo Fighter For Hire, with its special summon option, you can have all monsters For Hire you currently control gain 500 attack and defense until the end of turn. You can only use each effect of Bravo For Hire. So Bravo has the special summon option, just like your other For Hire monsters, but it also has the power boost. So if you're not going to go for an extra deck play and just rely on your For Hire monsters to attack into your opponent, the boost that Bravo can provide is a big plus for sure, just with some of the other monsters we're running, and some of them that just might be a little lower in attack power also. And I also run 2 Seal Strategist for hire. With this one, you can, if a monster is special summon except during the damage step, you can target one monster for hire in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So with this, you have recycle power. The special summon for Philo definitely does come in handy, but the fact that it leaves the field and is in defense position means that you could have the option to summon it onto the field, but if you have a more, powerhouse one like Raphael, champion for hire, you want to summon that card out and attack your opponent with it, while for hire, Seal can at least add it back to your hand for you to summon onto the field later on when you have another additional for hire monster on the field also. And I also run 2 Helmsman for hire. Once again, another special summon option with this card. And while you control a monster except this, you can discard 1 for hire and draw 1 card. It doesn't even say monster. If you have any of the other, for hire cards, you can discard those also for this card and have more draw power. All these cards benefit for the special summon for the other ones that you can special summon out with the for hire monsters, but you still need to summon them out. They don't have special summoning options themselves, and those are the boss monsters in the deck. I run 3 Raphael champion for hire. If this card is special summon, you can excavate the top cards of your deck equal to the number of for hire monsters you control with different names, except for Raphael champion for hire. If you do add one of them to your hand, also shuffle the rest back into your deck. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can discard 1 card for hire, negate the activation, and you can only use each effect of Raphael champion for hire once per turn. I can imagine when we be getting this card in Duel Links, this is just such a powerhouse for the deck. It would be unstoppable in that game for sure, but just as good being able to have so many different for hires set up on your field and then gain that additional search power with this card, and then all the cards you added to search for from your deck to your hand can also be used to power its negation effect against your opponent. And having 2800 attack, if you were to boost it up with some of the other cards like Bravo Fighter for hire, putting it above 3,000 attack points and hitting a good amount of cards your opponent controls, or just being able to clear cards with Dompa and Recon for this card to attack with no fear makes it all the better, and a definite 3 of. Even if you just open up one of the lower for hires and you're able to summon this card out onto the field that much easier, it's definitely a scary sight for your opponent. And then for some of the other 1-ofs for the boss monsters, I run 1 Dyna Hero for hire and 1 Wiz Sage for hire. With this one, being able to discard a for hire monster to negate the activation of a spell or trap, and Dyna for hire having the banish option from your graveyard and also being able to protect yourself because your opponent has to attack into Dyna. They're good options to run. You can search all these cards with Beat Bladesman for hire as well, so remember that. You just want to have, your powerhouse, which is Raphael, as your main go-to card for more search power, and also being able to search these cards out, which there I'm fine with the 1-ofs for both of them. It's really all you need for those plays once you can summon them out onto the field, and then also recycle them with other cards in the graveyard. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 Mayhem for hire. You target 1 monster for hire in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. You can only activate 1 Mayhem for hire per turn. It's no limit to what you can summon out. You don't have to have a for hire on the field either. You can just use Mayhem for hire to summon that monster back onto the field, and then whether it was a lower attack point for hire or a higher one, you have different plays to go off of there. Also, you can use the lower, level ones to special summon out any of the higher level ones you may have in your hand, and vice versa, just set up the bigger monsters that much easier. They have to be in defense position, so remember that, so you won't be able to attack your opponent, but they won't have their effects negated, so you'll be able to use their own monster effects if you summon more for hire monsters out to the field. And then for the new spell, we're running 3 Rookie for hire, another quick play spell. You tribute 1 monster to special summon 1 monster for hire from your hand or deck whose level is 1 higher or 1 lower than the attributed monster had on the field. You cannot declare attacks the turn you activate this except with for hire monsters. You can only activate 1 Rookie for hire per turn. But what an amazing card. We have so many different levels, including the boss monsters being level 8, also level 6, and also level 7. So you can go back and forth between all these monsters with this card alone. Also ranging from level 2, 3, 4, going all the way up for the different play styles we have in the deck. If you wanted to try running 1 of the level 5 for hire monster as well, for an option to go into the level 6 Dyna Hero for hire from that, so you could just have no block with any of them, you can give that a try also. It's definitely a 3 of, being another quick play spell, being able to even just rely on Mayhem for hire to summon one out into the field, and then special summon a different one by attributing that monster back into the graveyard to summon out a different for hire monster from your deck makes it all the better for sure. And I also run the 3 Pot of Desires. We've ran plenty of monsters in the deck and plenty of play sets of everything, but the one thing the deck does lack in is draw consistency. You just invest so much in your plays on the field. You need that draw power with Pot of Desires. You can try Pot of Extravagance as well. The extra deck is something you want to go into a lot, but it's more of a budget play for sure with Pot of Desires, just being able to banish and not really risk, because you can hit 2 of your beat as long as you draw into the other one. You have that one to play for on the field. Same with all of the spell lineups and everything. As long as you have some of the other copies, it doesn't really matter what you banish. Plus the option that you could always banish more of the Desires and just get that draw 2 for the play that you're working on right then and there. And for some of the 1-ofs, I run the 1 Reasoning, all the different levels for this deck. You can easily set cards up on the field for your opponent. They won't, normally be able to guess unless there's one card they specifically don't want to see on the field. They'll call that level and prevent you from summoning it, but the odds of you hitting it are still very high compared to the other monsters you run in the deck. 1 Monster Reborn for special summoning from the graveyard as well, and the 1 Reinforcements of the Army. Your Beat Bladesman for hire is a level 4 warrior monster, so you can search that also with Reinforcements of the Army. Just one of the best cards to add to your hand to use for sure, so you can always use the special summon and search power for that card. And that is it for the spells. We'll now move on to the traps. One of the best traps in the deck is there can only be 1. Each player can only control 1 monster of each type. If a player controls 2 or more monsters of the same type, they must send to the graveyard so they control no more than 1. What are we running in the deck? We're running Beast Warrior, Spellcaster, Dragon, Beast, Aqua, you name it. You have plenty of different options, Reptile even, that you will not hit a good number of different cards on the field. Just very rarely will we see multiple beasts, and even then you still have plenty of different cards to run all together that you won't have a problem, but you'll definitely be able to shut down a lot of different cards your opponent may have on the field using this continuous trap just to activate. And the fact that we run 3, if your opponent does manage to destroy this card or just invest all the resources to do it, and then you just activate another one, makes it that much more troublesome for them. And then to finish off the traps, I run 2 back to the front, just more special summoning. You special summon so much and be able to activate this on your opponent's turn. Special summoning a for hire, depending on what other for hire you may have already on the field. If you were to summon another one onto the field, you would activate that for hire's effect, destroying a card on the field, or even just summoning another one and being able to search off of that power when you activate your back to the front. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. You definitely want to run 3 Folgo, Justice for Hire. It's one of your best Link monsters to go into. I only have the 1, but I'll show what other Link monsters I would take out for additional copies of this card. You need 3 monsters with different types. Very easy to do with this deck and all the different types I spoke of so far. It cannot be used as Link material. If this card is Link Summon, you can special summon 1 monster for hire with a different type from the 3 monsters used for the Link Summon from your deck in defense position. If a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can draw 1 card. Then, if you control 3 or more monsters for hire with different names, draw 2 additional cards. You can only use this effect of Folgo Justice for hire once per turn. It's set up. That's what the whole play with this card is meant to do. Whatever you didn't use, like let's say you used Aqua and then Beast Warrior and Reptile, then you're able to search out one of the other types with the special summon with this card, being able to summon it onto the field, giving you more cards to use from your graveyard as well. Having that set up and then more and more draw power, plus the additional for hire effects of the monster you summoned onto the field also. And I also run the 1 Link Karibo. Philo is a level 1 monster, making it all the better for your Link plays. I'm also running 1 of each of the Water Charmers, so Asa, Aria, Win, and Hita. You run the different, attribute monsters in this deck as well, so you can easily make use of all the different Charmer monsters and being able to, summon out which one you particularly want. If your opponent has a card in their graveyard for a resource that you can take, it's a definite fun play to rely on having all of these in the deck. Also, for more of the generic Link monsters, I run 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, 1 of the Topologic Trisbana, and the 1 Borreload Dragon. For the Xyz monsters, I run a Leviair the Sea Dragon and an Abyss Dweller. You don't go into the Xyz as often, but you do run a good number of level 3 and 4 monsters. You can also try potentially a level 2 Xyz monster if you want in the deck as another card to take out, depending on if you're not making 1 or more particular of these cards. But for the additional numbers for the Folgo Justice for Hire, hire, if you wanted to take out a few cards, you could take out the Triple Burst Dragon and the Topologic Trisbana. Some of the other cards are more staple in the deck, or even if you don't have the IP Masquerena, that could be another slot to take out for the additional 2 Fogel Justice for hire. It's such a good link monster and the one you definitely want to go for the most in the playstyle in the deck. So having the more copies of it if your opponent does, let's say, negate the summon of it. So you always have more and more targets in your extra deck to go for. But some of my favorite plays, like I said before, with the summon, as long as you have 2 different for hire monsters, you can even make use of the new rookies for hire with this play if you wish. Being able to summon out your first one, using the effect of the first for hire to summon out another for hire onto the field, gaining the effect of the monster you summoned, and then having this additional one to use, you will activate that card, and then you can use your rookie for hire to tribute out the one that already used its monster effect to summon out a level higher, or you can even go level lower depending on the monsters in your graveyard. Then when summoning this card out, you'll have the additional special summon play, but you'll also be able to activate the other for hire effect, destroying 2 cards potentially on your opponent's field for that play. The other one that's a definite bonus for sure is relying on Mayhem for hire to special summon, let's say, a for hire monster in the graveyard. Depending on which one it is, depending on how far along in the game you are, you have that play. And then being able to rely on the rookies for hire to summon out another boss monster like that onto the field with this card as well. And you're not limited to the defense position with rookies for hire. You can only attack with for hires, but still getting out the stronger boss monsters on the field make it all the better for sure. And that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, I've always been a fan of for hires. Definitely love updating the deck. I'm not sure if we'd ever get any more extra deck support for them. They seem just like a deck that focuses on the monsters altogether. I definitely would think it'd be sweet if we got a synchro maybe one day for them and an additional tuner for the for hire monsters. But that is it for the video. Until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.